Ever wondered how much your VHS tapes or Game Boys are going to be worth in 100 years? Welcome to WatchMojo, and today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Antiques Roadshow discoveries of all time.
So I think that your box, remind me where you got it from again?
The dump.
The dump. We think that your box is worth £10,000.
Oh my God.
For this list, we'll be looking at those strange and surprising items that turned out to be worth way more than expected from both the American and British series. Number 10. 1870s Boston Baseball Archive. Passed down by the owner's great-great-grandmother, this collection consists of baseball memorabilia from the Boston Red Stockings, one of baseball's first professional teams dating back to the 19th century.
Now, all these cards went to your great-grandfather? That's how he got them, and they got handed down to you?
Yeah. Apparently he collected them, and he unfortunately cut them down to fit this little album, so they're all slightly askew.
It included baseball cards of some of the sport's earliest known players and personal handwritten messages from those players intended for the owner's great-great-grandmother, who owned a boarding house where the players stayed.
The thing that's special, in addition to the cards, is this letter, and they all wrote a little sentence and signed it.
They must have really loved her.
Believing it to only be worth $5,000 to $10,000, the owner was shocked to find out from the appraiser that it was worth an estimated $1 million.
Are you serious? Oh my. Holy smokes.
It is the greatest archive I have ever had at the Roadshow.
However, despite the nice surprise, the owner believed it would be best to keep the archive in the family. Number 9. Little Model. Appearing on the cover of Collier's in 1919, The Little Model is a painting by one of America's greatest painters, Norman Rockwell.
By age 14, he was enrolled in art classes. He was born in 1894, and in 1910, he actually quit high school so he could go to art school full-time. And he became the art director of Boys Life when he was just 18 years old.
It depicts a little girl dressed in red who appears to be a housekeep. The painting was given to Rockwell's aunt and was passed down until it came into the possession of the current owner.
It is such a charming work. Around the time of the late 90s, his work started to consistently bring about 6 figures.
It also came with an old note in which the estimated value was $10,000 to $15,000. On the show, Nan Chisholm gave it a current estimated value of $500,000.
So are you surprised to hear that?
Yeah, very surprised.
Thank you so much for bringing it in.
Wow, I didn't realize.
Number 8. Remington Portrait.
As you know, Frederick Remington is one of the most important Western artists of the turn of the century.
Another of the American West's greatest artists, Frederick Remington was a painter, illustrator, sculptor, and writer. He's best known for his depictions of cowboys, First Nations people, and the Army. This painting is a portrait of the owner's great-grandfather as part of a series on the military. Accompanying the painting was a letter describing the subject's and artist's relationship, as well as their adventures.
The letter itself, because it is so intimate and specific, is worth probably about $2,000.
Really?
The owner had previously received an appraisal on the painting, estimating its worth at around $7,500. At the time of the show, it was valued for up to $600,000 to $800,000. Number 7. Anthony Van Dyck painting.
Nothing about it. I spent $400 for it.
This famous Flemish painter lived from 1599 to 1641. He's known as a Baroque artist and famous for his portraits of Charles I of England. The style of beards that men wore at the time eventually became known as the Van Dyck thanks to the artist. The owner of the painting was a priest who bought it at an antique shop for £400. He thought it was fake until he brought it in for appraisal, where it turns out to be both the genuine work and worth over £400,000. Number 6. Calder Mobile. A mobile is a type of structure that's built and designed to take advantage of balance and equilibrium.
It's made on very thin wire and then These are usually either aluminum or an anodized, weather-resistant material that it slipped in and then very delicately soldered. And you can see in here where all of the knots and joints all put in a very balancing kind of format.
They're usually freestanding structures that either float or hang, and the best example of a mobile is the rotating toy people hang above a baby's crib to calm them.
I know that earlier, back in the late 80s or 90s, you had an approximate value of what it was worth.
The man who restored it said at least $30,000.
The originator of the mobile as a form of art was American sculptor Alexander Calder, and so it's no great surprise that the piece brought into Antiques Roadshow is valued at over $1 million.
Not bad for a pillow.
My problem is I've got one mobile and 2 children.
Number 5. Jade Collections. Imagine finding out that those strange-looking green things in your closet were worth over $1 million. That's what happened to Jinx Taylor when she took her father's jade collection to be evaluated by the people at Antiques Roadshow.
As children, we heard that some of them had imperial seals, and then I've just always have been curious.
Her father had acquired the items in China while serving in the U.S. Army during the 1930s and 40s.
Generally, you see people who purchase things at China at that period of time, and they purchase things that were very, very poor quality. These things are all of very, very fine quality.
As it happened, these valuable pieces are from the 18th century during the Qianlong dynasty.
It's an incredible collection. And he also bought at a period of time with, I would doubt if he paid more than $100 for any one of these pieces.
Yeah, I'm sure you're right.
Here's hoping she wasn't using them to eat cereal out of. Number 4. El Albañil.
It's a wonderful period, early 20th century painting, but it also gives hints of his mural style, his technique.
Meaning the laborer in Spanish, this was one of Diego Rivera's earliest paintings. The style of signature on it means that it's from Rivera's days in school. For many years, the picture was thought to be lost until it showed up on an episode of Antiques Roadshow. Rue Ferguson came into possession of the painting, which had been hanging behind the door at his great-grandparents' house. It's thought to be the earliest Rivera painting in the United States, and is valued at up to $1 million.
Well, I think you have something of a painting trifecta here.
Oh, good.
Number 3. Faberge Flower. Brought to the show by Colonel Stamford Cartwright, this ornament was originally gifted to the British Squadron, Queen's own Worcestershire Hussars, in 1904 by the Countess of Dudley.
That's why we think it was 1904, because that was when they received the battle honour, South Africa.
Well, it's absolutely bang on for date for the object, because some of the best things from Faberge are made in the 20th century.
Crafted by Peter Carl Faberge in Imperial Russia, the 5-inch ornament, sitting in a crystal vase, is just one of 80 pieces of its kind. In addition, the flower was made with a variety of materials, including enamel, gold, diamond, and jade.
And I just think it provides that link for all the different ages of soldiers that have soldiered with the regiment and are intending in the future to soldier with the regiment.
Due to its pristine condition and historical significance, appraiser Jeffrey Munn valued the flower at $1.27 million, becoming one of 3 items to ever be valued at 7 figures on the show.
Goodness gracious.
Well, I'm supposed to say no, it's not for sale. It certainly isn't for sale.
Well, that's the
I'm
rub.
just a custodian.
I know. Well, that is the rub, isn't it? It's not for sale.
Number 2. Angel of the North Maquette.
So just to clarify, this is the bronze maquette for the 20-meter-high steel version.
This maquette was so heavy that it took 5 people to carry it onto the showroom floor. Though massive, it's only a fraction of the size that the full statue would be. The completed statue ended up being over 66 feet tall, with a wingspan of 177 feet. This concept piece was brought in and valued at over £1 million, which is more than the cost of the actual landmark. Although it's smaller than the completed piece, the maquette has a unique beauty and presence to it.
A sort of deeply emotional site for something quite so beautiful, important, and salvationary as this.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Navajo Blanket.
When you walked in with this, I just about died. Congratulations. Congratulations.
I can't believe this.
Clyfford painting.
Gallery price would be $500,000.
Oh, really? That's quite nice to know.
Yeah.
Clyfford still painting.
But given the importance of the artist, given the importance of this painting, I believe that this shouldn't be insured for anything less than $500,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Rhinoceros Cups.
At the time I bought them, they were affordable in the 70s, early 80s.
These cups made from rhinoceros horns were originally made for ceremonial and libation purposes. The owner came into possession of them in the 1970s as an avid collector of the art form. They were crafted sometime between the 17th and 18th century and are considered fine pieces of art. The craftsmanship and detail that went into the dragon designs is a sight to behold. Although the owner paid approximately $5,000 for the pieces, they're worth up to $1.5 million for the set.
Whoa. Well, I won't have to depend on just Social Security, I guess.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.